Welcome to Biology channel. For today's episode, let's talk about bioremediation.
Bioremediation is now the most beneficial product in the biotechnology. Bioremediation, where remediate means to correct something that is wrong or damaged or to improve a bad situation. While bioremediation, a process that uses mainly microorganisms, plants, or microbial, or plants enzymes to detoxify contaminants in the soil and other environment, and the process of removing or breaking down pollutants from contaminated sites using organisms. In addition, bioremediation is a naturally occurring process where very small living organisms called microbes cleaned up contaminated soil, groundwater, and surface. Bioremediation stimulates the growth of certain microbes that use contaminants and the source of food and energy. Wherein petroleum-based products are the major source of energy for industry and daily life. It happens that leaks and accidental spills occur regularly during the exploration, production, refining, transport, and storage petroleum or petroleum products. So, the amount of natural crude oil seepage was estimated to be 600,000 metric tons per year, with a range of uncertainty of 200,000 metric tons per year. So it means bioremediation is needed especially when using petroleum-based products. You should know that there are three types of bioremediation. First is the microremediation that uses fungus. Second, phytoremediation that uses plants. And lastly, bacterial bioremediation, which as it names that uses bacteria. In bioremediation, there are two types of treatment, in situ and ex situ. In situ means that we remediate pollutants on site, while ex situ, in other hand, means that we extract the contaminated site or pump out the contaminated water location at which was found and take it somewhere else, or bioremediation.
Report. This time, I'm going to report what is the history of biotechnology. So we have discovered that biotechnology have been used since the dawn of civilization. Egyptians have used yeast in making breads, while Chinese people have developed fermentation techniques for brewing and cheese production. But today, as we heard the word biotechnology, people always think about DNA or recombinant DNA. Biotechnology began long before we knew about genes and chromosomes. Next, biotechnology began at the 19th century. This time, the production of the beer was the focus. With that, government raised its grasp because of the production of the beers. While at the mid-century, biotechnology was linked to industry and agriculture, the growing automobile industry. For example, the fermentation process to produce acetone and paint solvents. Moving in the mid-century, DNA was the focus at this time. DNA was discovered with double helix structure by Watson and Crick. Through further research and studies, new techniques were developed to allow DNA manipulation. And today, biotechnology is being used at countless areas, including agriculture, bioremediation, forensic, like DNA printing, medicine, and also genetic manipulation.
Bioremediation was first discovered around 600 BC by the Romans. Although their version of the process aren't as developed as today's, they were still able to use it. They used bioremediation to clean their wastewater. Much later, in the 1960s, bioremediation was officially invented by George Robinson. He had experimented with microbes inside the polluted glass jars. More research was conducted these microbes to expand their capabilities. It wasn't until 1972 when these microbes were put to the test in real-life situation. Scientists used them to try and clean out fuel tanks on the RMS Queen Mary. The attempt was successful, and ever since 1972, humans have been using and improving these microbes. They are making them more powerful and efficient, as well as using them to help clean oil spills and their contaminated situations. Today, thanks to the improvements on the microbes, they are now much more versatile than before. They have improved greatly since they were first discovered and will continue to improve under scientific research. Bioremediation is the process of moving or breaking down pollutants from contaminated sites using organisms. You should know that we have three types of remediation. First, we have microremediation, which uses fungus. Secondly, we have phytoremediation, which uses clots. And finally, we have bioremediation, which uses bacteria. You should know that we have three types of remediation. First is the microremediation, which uses fungus. Secondly, phytoremediation, which uses clots. Finally, we have bioremediation, which uses bacteria, and this is the focus of our discussion. There are two types of microbes in bioremediation. First, the aerobic microbes, which are commonly used because they require oxygen to grow. Second, the anaerobic microbes, which grow without oxygen and bioremediation. Also, we have two types of treatments, which is in situ and ex situ. In situ means that remediate the pollutants on sites, while ex situ means that we extract the contaminated sites or pump out the contaminated water location at which was found and take it somewhere else, or bioremediation. How does bioremediation works? Bioremediation process. Let's take an example of an oil spill from petroleum cargo. Here we have ocean, petroleum cargo, leaks oil. There is an accident as it happened in Mexico Gulf 2010. Bioremediation, as we said a while ago, uses a bacteria in the ocean to break down the oil. And now, commonly named Canterbury expert commences a good oil-eating bacteria living in the ocean and only blooms when oil is present. The bacteria releases enzymes such as starch and sugar, which break down oil particles so that it is easier for bacteria to eat the oil. The bacteria will digest the oil and release water and harmless gases such as carbon dioxide. The cycle repeats until the food is run out. There are some specific conditions for microbes to work better. First, we need oxygen in the water. Second, there should be enough nutrients in the ocean. And the third, the water temperature should be around 15 to 20 degrees. There are different biological techniques to grow and stimulate bacteria for an effective bioremediation. We have first, bioaugmentation, and the second, biostimulation.
The petroleum industry facing challenges to remove sulfur, metals, nitrogen, as well as undesirable organic compounds from the crude. Technology has gained popularity in petroleum industry in recent times due to its environment-friendly approach. Various jobs undertaken by the petroleum industry involves high costs, samples, operational implementation, and causes environmental hazards. Bioremediation is the process of using living organisms to remove toxic contaminants from soil or groundwater. Many organisms, including fungi, bacteria, and protists, can break down organic toxins, transforming them into harmless products such as water and carbon dioxide. Bioremediation has been successfully used to clean up pollutants, including crude oil, gasoline, pesticides, sewage, and chlorinated solvents used in cleaning supplies. The benefits of bioremediation include lower cost and less disruption of the contaminated environment when compared to other cleanup methods.
To sum up, bioremediation relies on natural occurring occurring microbes and pose no threats to people, other organisms, and environment around it. So it reduces the amount of equipment, labor, and the energy used to clean up a contaminated site. So it is a successful method for removing wastage. So bioremediation has been successfully applied, including retail, commercial businesses, private residents, completed by the US EPA. Since petroleum industries around the world have been facing challenges in removing undesirable compounds and contaminated site, this biotechnology has gained popularity due to its environment-friendly approach. So it actually relies on the microbial growth and its activity. Its effectiveness is highly dependent on the applied environmental apparatus that influence the growth of the microbials and the degradation rate. So this biological process involves can be handled and focused on a specific hazardous pollutant, or can be also applied to other wide range of compounds, including pesticides, industrial chemicals, and so on. So, therefore, bioremediation is an ecological viable technique that can be used to clean up contaminated site by using its natural biological process. It is a low cost, relatively low cost, and low technology techniques is used. So for successful implementation of bioremediation, a brief assessment of the contaminated site is a prerequisite to the environmental settings.